Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make videos for NBA, make videos for NFL. All these videos, they get posted on this subreddit right here. It's called DF Sports. It's a really great place to be because I make updates here. And listen, the slate's going to change from this video to tomorrow. So I do my best job on this subreddit to make changes when we do get news for the next coming day's slate. And you can ask me questions about the slate, and I will reply to you here all day long, all night long. Sometimes, I'll miss night stuff, but most of the time I'll be around here. I'm literally here 24 hours a day, basically. This is my life, right? So this will be linked down below, and if you ever need to get a hold of me privately, you can get a hold of me on Discord, right, or Twitter, right there. All right, so you guys know, getting these videos out a bit early, so I can look at prop stuff and make my prop videos. What I will probably do if the slates don't end early is just show you guys my lineup in the next videos. Yesterday I did not cash, but you guys knew what my lineup was. Tonight I think I'll cash. I'll just tell you my lineup. We can still go over my lineup. I just don't want to see how it's doing and how my showdown stuff's doing. So my lineup tonight was Victor Wembanyama, Sadiq Bey, DeJounte Murray, Bogdan Bogdanovic, David Roddy, Jacob Gilyard, Jeff Green, and who was my last? Who was my last? So let's recap that again. Green, Gilyard, Roddy, Wemby, Bog, Murray, Bay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Green, Gilyard, Roddy. Sorry, guys. It's important because I want you guys to know my lineup every single night. And Luca. What am I doing, man? And Luca. Luca got hurt at half. He had a subpar second half because he got hurt. That was my lineup tonight. Bay absolutely smashing. Murray doing good. Bog doing good. Wemby absolutely smashed. Roddy smashed. Gilyard did fine. Jeff Green did fine. And Luca did well, but that second halfer. So we'll see where I end tonight. And then my showdown lineup tonight was Murray, Bay, Bog, Steph, Jalen, Capella. That was my showdown lineup. That should easily be cashing. My core today was Roddy, Gilyard, Luca, and DeJounte. So pretty good all around. I'll show you guys the full lineup tomorrow when I do make this video, or tomorrow's video. And if you're interested in more in-depth content where I have prize picks content, I give you guys those cores, private videos, showdown cores, night slate cores, either showdown videos or night slate videos. I'm in there all day long, 24 hours a day. My Discord link will be down below. Legit, I'm in there all day long, talking it up with you guys, having a good time, all that stuff. It's my life, man. I live for this stuff. So, yeah. All right, so good spot here for Washington. We have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 game slate for tomorrow, the 25th of January. All right, so good spot here for Washington. I mean, there's a good amount, or Utah. There's a good amount to like here. I mean, in a competitive game, they're going to play their guys pretty big minutes. It's nice to see after earlier in the year when they were just trolling the rotation. But you're going to get big minutes for Markkanen. You're going to get big minutes for Sexton. You're going to get big minutes for Clarkson. And then the rest, they're going to go with the hot hand with. Simone should play 25 to 30 minutes. And then, like I said, with the bigs, they're going to go with the hot hand with. And then Dunn should play around 20 minutes. Like, these three guys are the guys you can definitely feel the most confident about. Washington's really bad, so there's always blowout risk. But yeah, 8K Markkanen going up against Washington. Really, really good spot. Should play 35 minutes in competitive game. He is their go-to guy. I absolutely love the matchup. I think he really stands out to me. I like him a ton. I think Colin Sexton looks really, really good at 6.6K. He's been playing big minutes. He's been playing extremely well, stuffing the stat sheet as well. Jordan Clarkson will be your pivot in tournaments. I think Colin Sexton is going to be a lot more popular than Jordan Clarkson. So I like Jordan Clarkson as a pivot. I think they're almost similar plays. I just think Sexton will kind of stuff the stat sheet a bit more, which makes him a bit safer. But I think both are going to play around 30 minutes, and both are going to be really, really productive when they're on the court. So, like, if you want to go with the lower end option in Clarkson, I would not hate you for it at all. I do think Sexton does look better, but Yeah, I think all three of these guys are pretty good plays here going up against Washington. So I like all three quite a bit. Now with the bigs, so with Walker Kessler, John Collins, they're going to go with the hot hand here a bit. John Collins last game was on pace to play pretty big minutes until the game blew out, and then Walker Kessler, I believe, played in most of the blowout. Let me just confirm. I think I'm almost positive that was the case though. Um, where is Walker? Yeah, Walker got the entire blowout, and yeah, like I said, John Collins was on pace to play pretty big minutes here. So here's what I will say. If I knew John Collins continued to get mid 20s minutes up to 30 minutes, I would like him quite a bit. You guys know I always love to target Daniel Gafford on the other side of games. Like, yeah, I really like John Collins. Just know they can always troll his minutes, though. Like, his minutes are never secure, right? So if I knew he got his like 27, 28, 29 minutes going up against Gafford at $5,000, I would like him a lot because his rates at the 5 are a lot different compared to when he plays the 4, right? Walker Kessler would be a pivot. I mean, same thing goes with him. Like, if I knew he played mid 20s minutes, I would love him at 4.9K. But just there's always a risk with these guys because they're going to go with the hot hand between both. Don't play both together. I would not do that. If you're going to play one, pick one. I think Collins probably is a little bit better. But yeah, and then Simone. I mean, he's gonna play, probably around 30 minutes. He's 4.1K. He is pretty score independent. He can grab a few rebounds. But yeah, if he hits his shots, he does have this type of ceiling. So I think Simone's a pretty solid value at 4.1. They're gonna dust off, Keontae George. Kelly Olynyk should play teens minutes. It's fine for large field tournaments. Chris Dunn will play around 20 minutes. I think he's a decent value with how this slate pans out right now. We don't have a ton of value. So unless other value does open up, he does look pretty decent. And then I don't think I go to anyone else. Moving on to Washington. So, I think this game is definitely stackable. Like Kyle Kuzma, sub 8K, in competitive games is also playing pretty big minutes. Also their go-to guy. So I have no issue with him. I think Markkanen does look a bit better, but definitely have interest in Kuzma. Tyus, I would say, is probably my least favorite given the price points. He had a pretty bad game tonight, but a big game here. It's a good spot. I mean, I have no issue with him. I think all these guys are pretty interesting for tournaments, just because at their price points, in competitive games, one or two of them is gonna have a really big game. They're always low owns. Like Kuzma is probably your safest bet, but like Denny, Poole, Tyus, all firmly in play for tournaments. I know Gafford got into foul trouble tonight, but I want to say I feel like he might have got hurt too, but I'm not entirely sure. But Gafford, Bagley, they'll kind of split the center minutes. I mean, at their price points, I don't really have too much interest in either. And then you'll see Koulibaly in the rotation, and if the game blows out, he'll get extended. So like if you're playing for blowout, sure you can go there, but he'll be in the rotation anyway. Moving on to the Sixers. So Tobias Harris is questionable. If he's out, I would assume Marcus Morris moves into the starting lineup. So if Tobias is out, I mean, yeah, I think, Batum's going to have to play a lot. I think Marcus Morris, assuming he starts, would be a solid value. I know it's disgusting, but yeah, would like Batum, would like Marcus. Patrick Beverly, I know Springer's probable, but I don't think it's going to impact him too much, especially if Tobias Harris is out. I would say his minutes are pretty secure. I think he's firmly in play for value. And then Joel Embiid. I mean, he's the best bet up on the slate. It's not close. He's been on another level this year. He's been absolutely smashing. You absolutely love to see it. Legit has triple-double upside this year. It's absolutely insane. Playing huge minutes. It's just, can the Pacers keep this game competitive? They don't have Halliburton on the other side of this game. But yeah, I absolutely love Embiid, and I'm going to continue to love him until his price point's up to like $13,000. Tyrese Max, I think, is solid too. He thrives in fast-paced game environments. We know the Pacers do push the pace, and we know the Sixers do play a lot faster this year without Harden on the team. So, yeah, I definitely have interest in Maxey for tournaments. I think he's very intriguing, and he's also going to play over 40 minutes. So, like both the top two guys there. Tobias Harris, if he plays, I mean, very, very safe. Price points down, also playing huge minutes. I have no issue with him. Good rebounder, like the spot up against the Pacers. I think he's fine. Oubre, more of your tournament play between all these guys. He does have a ceiling when he's hitting his shots, but his usage has been really, really bad of late. So more of just a tournament only play for me. And if Tobias Harris is in, I still think Batum's viable. I still think Pat Bev's viable, but I probably wouldn't play guys like Morris. And then if Tobias is out, you might see a bit more minutes for like a Daniel House. Maybe they add like a KJ Martin in the rotation or something. But Nurse has done some weird things. Like some games, one of them will DNP. Other games, they won't. So I don't think I'd play them in your one lineup if you're making one lineup. All right, moving on to the Pacers. So Halliburton out here. So we know Nemhard and T.D. McConnell, they'll kind of split the point guard duties. Nemhard did get up to 27 minutes last game. That's what you like to see. Stat sheet stuffer. I think he's pretty safe here. If you give him 27 minutes again, I think he's going to be a pretty solid play at that price point. TJ would be, kind of more of a dart for me, but still fine just because he is such a good producer and the price is 5.4K. I just don't know with how many minutes he's playing right now. I don't know if he has like the ceiling to really win you a tournament, but still pretty safe. And then Siakam 7.1K. I mean, without Halliburton, you would think his usage rate would be sky high, but I was looking at his usage rate. It's been a bit weird. It's been a bit weird, but I would expect mid 30s minutes. He's going to be their go-to guy. I definitely think he's an interesting tournament play, just if he's going to be low owned. And then we have Miles Turner going up against Joel Embiid. I mean, it's not as bad of a spot here as people think it is, but, if the minutes with him have been up and down, if Jalen Smith's out, I'd feel a lot more confident in his minutes, and if people are going to avoid him because of the matchup, I'd be more inclined to go there. It's not as bad as people think it is. So I'm intrigued by Miles Turner, especially if Jalen Smith's out. And then Buddy Hield, I mean, they absolutely trolled his minutes last game. Are the game locks up from the last game? I don't know if they are. They absolutely trolled his minutes last game. The wings, they're going to go with the hot hand with Neesmith, probably your safest of the wings. So, I don't mind him. And then if Jalen Smith's out, could see a bit more Jackson. And if you think, Miles Turner gets into foul trouble, sure. All right, moving on to Minnesota. So, okay spot here. I mean, guards have been doing really, really well against the Nets. So, 8.4K, Anthony Edwards, absolutely smashed tonight. Nobody wanted him. I still think he's too cheap. So I think Ant stands out to me. Stat sheet stuffer, going to play big minutes in competitive games. So, I think Ant's pretty solid. Cat, at a similar price to Anthony Edwards, I think I just prefer Anthony Edwards at this point, but still in play for tournaments for me. And then Rudy Gobert, we know the type of ceiling he has. And he is also playing huge minutes right now. So, solid for tournaments. I think he's priced right now, though. Keep an eye on Mike Conley. If he is out, Nickeil Alexander-Walker is going to move into a solid role in the starting lineup. Not solid role, he'll be low usage, but compared to his usual role of not playing a ton of minutes, he'll be a solid value. Not going to do a ton out there, but if we don't have a ton of value, he's definitely solid. And then Kyle Anderson will get a bump at 4.6 as well. He would be firmly in play for value. And I do like McDaniels, so not a ton of value on this slate right now. So if that stays the same, mid 30s minutes of a 4.8K guy that's good defender, can rack up defensive stats. I mean, it's solid. So don't mind McDaniels there. And then I don't think I go to anyone else here. All right, moving on to Brooklyn. So we have Cam Johnson is questionable. Keep an eye on that. If he's out, I'm not sure who they start. They could start a Royce O'Neal, but it's going to be more minutes for, Dorian Finney-Smith, Royce O'Neal. We possibly see a bit more Lonnie Walker as well. So whoever they start, I would like, if it's Royce O'Neal. But Dorian Finney-Smith, I would think gets a bit more minutes. He would be, solid for value at 4.4. Dinwiddie and Dennis Smith Jr., they're going to go with the hot hand. Last time it was Dennis Smith Jr. The games prior, it was Spencer Dinwiddie. So here's what I will say here. If you guess correctly on one of these guards at their price points, you're going to have a big day. If you get 33 minutes of Spencer Dinwiddie at this price point, he's probably going to have a really, really good game at this price point. So I am intrigued by Dinwiddie at this price point. It's not a good spot. He could always get benched. So do what you want. If he's popular, I'll just fade him. And then I prefer Dinwiddie to Dennis Smith Jr., by the way, at their price points. Cam Thomas, we know he has a ceiling off the bench, but this matchup is just horrible. Claxton, I will say, even though it's a really, really bad matchup, he is too cheap for the minutes that he's been getting right now. Earlier in the year, he was only getting 25 to 30 minutes game, but they're continuing to give him run when he stays out of foul trouble of high 30s minutes. So he is too cheap if he continues to get that run. And I do think Mikal Bridges is a bit too cheap as well. So I do like Mikal for tournaments. I think he'll probably be a bit low owned tomorrow. Moving on to Denver. So I think Jokic is a pretty good spend up. I definitely prefer Embiid. It's not close either, but he should be able to feast here. Whether they put up a Jericho Sims, Precious Achua, Hartenstein. So I think Jokic is a good spend up. I think Jamal Murray's fine, but now that he's this close in price point to Jokic, I think I just prefer Jokic. MPJ, Aaron Gordon, they both have ceilings. They're both more, last piece in filler type plays for me. I think Aaron Gordon probably looks a little bit better point per dollar, and then KCP, you guys know the drill. 3 and D, hits his shots, whole reach value. It's fine. And then Reggie Jackson will play, around 20 minutes off the bench. Decent point per minute guy. I think he's solid for value if you need a punt. All right, moving on to the next. So we'll keep it at Hartenstein here. So there was Tom Thibodeau just absolutely lied last game. They said that they were potentially going to go small and play like OG Anunoby or Julius Randle at the 5. Well, I don't think they're going to do that here up against Jokic. So if Hartenstein's out, I would expect Jericho Sims and Precious Achiuwa to split the center minutes here. I think Sims kind of got extended last game because he was playing extremely, extremely well. So here's what I will say about that. If Hartenstein's out, I still prefer Precious Achiuwa, but both bigs would be firmly in play. OG Anunoby's playing huge minutes right now. He's pretty safe to me. And then I even though it's a bad matchup, I still like Randall. I still like Brunson. I'm going to keep saying it without Quickly, without RJ Barrett. There's just so much more usage to go around. They're already high usage players, extremely high usage players. And then with those two off the court, there's just even more shot attempts to go around. I would say Randall's probably a bit better, but yeah, I think both look solid. I'm not going to play anyone else here, though. This game, probably the least appealing game on the slate. Tough matchups for both sides. Miami plays really, really slow as well. So like Tatum, Brown, Porzingis, White, Drew. I don't like any of them. I think they're all pretty horrid in this matchup. So pretty easy team to talk about. Not going to touch them. And then on Miami, keep an eye on, the starting lineup. They could move, Terry into the starting lineup. They did start Jay Rich tonight, but it was a spot start. He didn't play any minutes. So pretty unappealing team. Keep an eye, I guess, on Kevin Love. If he's out, you'll probably get like Thomas Bryant backup 5 run. But Bam Adebayo is going to play 40 minutes. Like max minutes he'll play is probably like 10 or 11. So yeah, I don't like anything in this game. Pretty bad game, my opinion. All right, moving on to the Sacramento Kings. Domantas Sabonis has just been on another level of late. I think he should be able to, feast this front court in the Warriors as well. So, like, I really like Sabonis at 9.9K. I think Fox is solid too. I think I prefer, just getting up to Sabonis as well. And then Keegan Murray. I mean, he's playing 40 minutes a game too as well. Solid rebounder. He's shooting the ball a decent amount. I think he's too cheap. What else? Monk, more of a tournament play between the two. Minutes, he'll be high usage off the bench. She'll play around 25, could get extended. I mean, I like his ceiling for tournaments. And what else? Kevin Huerter, I mean, he's had a solid role of late. I think he's decent. And then Harrison Barnes is playable for value, but I think he'll go a bit over-owned, especially from last game. And then Trey Lyles, I think, is an okay pump play if you need the salary relief. Hard to say with the Warriors right now, so I want to see their minutes. Oh, of course, fucking blowout. Amazing. So let's take a look at their minutes. Kuminga 28 off the bench, Pods 26 off the bench, Draymond 22 off the bench, Looney didn't really play much. Clay gonna have to play big minutes. Wiggins 30. That disgusting rotation. I don't know if anyone got into foul trouble either, but Steph in play for tournaments. I mean, assuming everyone's out that continues to stay out here, Clay's going to have to play all the minutes he can handle. So, like, Clay's a fine tournament play. Pods, I think, is priced right. If they continue to start Sarge, he's fine. Wiggins, same thing at 5.5K as well. Keep it on the starting lineup, too. They could always move Draymond back into the starting lineups. Like, yeah, pretty unappealing here. I just have interest in, Clay, maybe Sarge, maybe, Draymond if he starts, or Wiggins. So I think that's going to wrap it up for that game. Let's move on to the last game of the night, and probably one of my favorite teams to target here in Chicago. No Levine. We have Pat Prowls. Like, I really like DeMar. I really like White. I think Vooch is solid as well. Tough matchup going up against ADU though. But yeah, I think all three of the Bulls look pretty good. DeMar being my favorite. I like Caruso as well at 5.1K. He should play around 30 minutes. He's stuffing the stat sheet. It's a really good spot as well. Revenge narrative if you're into that. I'd assume he's going to get decent minutes off the bench. He's in play. And then I think Patrick Williams should play around 30 minutes. He's a solid value. Not going to play anyone else. Moving on to the Lakers. Keep an eye on LeBron news. So if he plays, I don't like much here. I think AD and LeBron are fine. D'Lo would still be playable, but I wouldn't like much. If LeBron's out, that changes everything. Then I love Anthony Davis. I love D'Angelo Russell. I love Austin Reeves. Prince would be a solid value. I would love Rui. Vanderbilt would be in play. Wood would be in play. So there'd be a lot to like here. All right, that's going to wrap it up, guys. Hope you guys had a great night, and I will talk to y'all in the next one.